I don't even drink.
Why do you get into scotch?
I don't even drink scotch, but I'm like, I'm going to start drinking scotch.
Is that a New Year's resolution?
Yeah, start
drink less beer
drinking
and
more.
more scotch.
My New Year's resolution is to drink more. Hey there, guys. maskedbandit here, along with N7.
Yeah, it's me.
And this is a BroSode. It's been a while.
It has.
Yeah, I kind of forgot how to do this. And why has it been so long? Because I don't want to build in Planet Zoo. It's going to come right out.
You're not having fun with the game anymore.
No, I'm not having fun.
Seems to be following a trend across the entire community, honestly.
Yeah.
The playtime, at least the concurrent players, has fallen off pretty dramatically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we wanted to take this BroSode to kind of state of the series it a bit. So make sure you shake my hand, and I promise I won't rip up your speech. Neither of us have been very active on the old YubTubs lately.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you express what happened to you? You were burning white hot there. Is that kind of the problem?
Kind of the problem, but also it's multi-tiered. Like I've said, if you follow me, we had a really great January in which the snow completely left and the days were in the 40s and 50s. And so that's a great time to get cleanup done because once spring hits, there is no time to do a whole lot of anything, and yet the weeds start getting up on you and stuff like that. So getting that window of time when we normally don't kind of put priorities forward, and it was like, I need to get this done instead of really hitting Planet Zoo hard. The second thing is, if you guys don't do YouTube revenues pretty much crash in January. And while that's not the sole reason why we do these things, it's a reason.
It's a good incentive.
Yeah, and if you're doing the same amount of work and
incentive.
you're putting out the same amount of really good content and you're getting less for it, it kind of makes you wait. It kind of makes you hold back on your stuff, because why would you? It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I get that part of it. That's not oh my God, my GD cat. This is not the main reason for my drop off. I just got distracted with other interests. Like for the longest time, my main interest has been gaming, and I've got a whole bunch of really awesome board games for Christmas. My wife and I my wife was training for a marathon, so I was kind of in it with that. Just being supportive and all that. And so any free time was spent with her and playing, actually like hanging out with real life people. And so this took a back seat. This is the longest it's been since I've been productive at either YouTube or games in general in a really long time. And I didn't miss it. It wasn't until recently where I'm like, I kind of want to play something. I've been busy doing other things. And for both of us, YouTube is never going to be our main source of income. It is not our job, strictly because of things like this. You would much rather go play in your garden than make a fake one. And I would much rather at times play games with real life people than build something in this game. So,
but we always come back to it. That's the point.
Yep. Like, obviously, if we didn't want to be continuing with St. Reginald Zoo, we wouldn't be making this video right now. It's just, it's been a slog. And when I have wanted to play on the computer, it hasn't been this. It hasn't been this. And I don't know why this is so much harder to get amped up for than Planet Coaster. It works the exact same.
Yeah.
I don't get what my struggle is. I think it's the frustrations of the animals, like.
Here's what I would say is that we are now, when Planet Coaster came out, it was certainly more rough and it was rough and ready. It was clear that the entire scope had not been fully thought out. With this game, it feels like they got to a point that they wanted to, and we're questioning their design decisions. And then also the other really big thing is that we're just not getting any sort of communication from Frontier. We have no telegraphing about what they want to do. They just came out with a thing that said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have a great 2020. We have 4 titles that are doing really well," and it's kind of like, could you let us know kind of roughly what you have in mind so that we can plan ahead? Because you're losing not only your hardcore community because they're burnt out already. But you've also lost a lot of the casuals that you're not going to get back because you don't have you're not telegraphing a plan for the future in which that maybe birds or fish come into the kind of playing field, which is something that is sorely lacking in making a zoo. Is that when you look at a zoo, it's mostly the smaller animals, and we just don't have that here.
Right. Yeah, I think maybe that's part of it. Is part of the draw is us building super realistically. But even though we have however many dozens of animals, you're right. A large portion of a zoo is lots of insects, lots of fish, lots of birds. Like I know a huge chunk of the Houston Zoo is a lot of birds. But for me, it's this balance of welfare versus sandbox versus playing the game. The game is not. Whoa! I just got kicked out. What is going on? Why is my camera moving? I am not pushing any buttons.
Here's yet another thing. We're watching it happen.
What is going on? That was the weirdest. What in the absolute F?
I think you hit the helium cheat accidentally.
I think I must have hit the helium cheat. Yeah, that was really bizarre. But for me, it's this whole system of, okay, sandbox, turn welfare off, fine. But it doesn't actually turn welfare off. It just makes the animals ignore their welfare. So you still get the protesters. You still get then your keepers are acting all screwy when welfare is turned all the way off. We were just talking about it. We remove the arboreal. Is that the arboreal feeder from the arboreal from the lemurs because they don't use it and it can't be refilled and it can't be cleaned and it's the climbing mechanism. Yes, the climbing mechanism is way wonkier than we originally thought. Getting them to work. So much of it, the habit of just figuring out how much of your habitat is navigable is outrageous and
completely impossible to determine for the zookeepers. You can kind of guess with the animals, but like in the case of this lemur exhibit right here, you've got things that don't go to anywhere, but why wouldn't the lemurs just use it anyway?
Right, that's what I thought. But they won't use it because it doesn't go anywhere. Is that how it works?
And that's not how animals are not highways. Animals are curious and they're going to go and do things just because they want to go and do it. So if it's a climbing animal,
go jump from a dead end to a dead end,
then it should climb. It's weird to have all these arboreal animals that are just standing on the ground, and maybe that is part of what happens in a zoo when they become domesticated.
I don't know. I've never seen a meerkat. I've never seen the meerkats. We have a couple different species. I've never seen them on the ground. Granted, it's anecdotal, but. Anyway, it's those kinds of things. It's like this is preventing us from really living this zoo. Like No Name Landia, it felt like a living, breathing theme park. This it doesn't, and it's the animals. It's hard. Just
to stay on this lemur habitat. So you've got platforms that go up to a bedding area. They're never going to use that because it's not technically hard shelter, even though these animals would certainly use this. Because it's there's no like day-night cycle. There's no cycling in the inside exhibit, outside exhibit. There's just it's frustrating because it feels like they have this thing called Planet Zoo, but they didn't actually use zoos. It's more like Animal Welfare Simulator, which is not a zoo.
Yep, and as people who play these games to be creative, we don't play the game. We don't do franchise mode. We don't do the campaigns. But then, so we're all about the aesthetics. And it's a beautiful game. No one will question that. But it's ruined when the protesters come in. Shut up, cat.
So your cat's one of the protesters.
Yeah. So, you
Moopy.
turn off. Moopy. You turn off all the welfare. You make it as sandboxy as possible. And then you still get protesters that are ruining what you're doing. So which way do we go? Like, do we have unhappy animals? Do we have happy animals with protesters? Do we make exhibits that aren't realistic looking? And I think part of that is why we've kind of just hit the wall.
It was frustrating to build a coaster in Planet Coaster, but it wasn't. We were not limited by the builder itself. Originally we were, because we didn't know the 4-meter technique and all that. But in here, zookeepers will just not focus on the animals if you have not built it correctly, and the game does what is happening to that lemur.
Yeah.
And the game does not telegraph what the problem is. And that's a big issue. We have gobs and gobs of information that we do not care about. And it comes down to feeling like the game just was not designed in a logical manner, that it was just put together with bits and pieces. And they're like, oh, we can show this piece of information. Oh, cool. Let's add that in. But they never asked why we want that information in the first place. The most important information that I want is, can my animals get to where they need to go? Can my zookeepers tend to the animals? That's all I need to know.
Yep.
I don't need to know any of the other tabs. And there are like 7 other tabs that give me no more additional information on how to make this better for them.
Yep. So that's where we've been. We've been in the realm of frustration. Now, with all that being said, there has been work done.
Ooh.
And that's taking a lot of time.
That's nice.
But that's what's coming up in episode 5. So we are still working. And if you're on BroNation, you've seen pictures of what is this. I love how it's being shrouded by by your foliage.
Was that just my foliage?
Yeah, I didn't add anything in there.
That looks really good already. I'm really good at it, aren't I?
Yeah, this is like what your passion is or something. Well, I'm pretty happy with how that building turned out for the most part, but we'll get to that another day. So there you go. St. Reginald isn't going anywhere. Brocoaster's not going anywhere. But if you've been with us through the first iteration in Planet Coaster, you know we take breaks. And I think we just hit our first major break.
Yep.
So what we decided to do now is, since one of Frontier's less great points is their community aspect, we'd like to show off some... There goes my mouse. There goes my computer again.
Did it just go off to the side? Because it seems like the cat is on one of your directional keys. And
definitely no cat here. So we would like to show off some of the amazing things on the Steam Workshop that members of BroNation have made. And they don't get enough credit, I don't think, in the general Planet Zoo public. So if you're watching this and you're not a member of BroNation, these are some of the awesome things that our members are making, and you need to scope them out on the workshop. So anyone you want to start with?
Well, if you consider yourself a more casual player or somebody who doesn't like to use the build system, and I get it, it's a difficult system to pick up. I get it. Wouldn't it be nice for the community at large to show things that are useful, like this conveyance set by, was it Moblung?
Moblung, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So take a look at this. You can build frickin' what are they called? Escalators.
Good Lord.
But like, goodness, like I would never be able to do this. And he's already got the elevators ready to go, and check out the sign. Like those are all pieces. Just so if you want to have an escalator and you don't know how to go, look on the workshop. They've got it, conveyance equipment, and it's all modular. It works together.
Yeah, you can do the steps separately from the walls. You can have these medians in there. It's really awesome.
Yep, and it's not. How many pieces is the sign? The sign is 441 pieces, but if that makes your skin crawl, don't use it.
Yeah, you don't have to use the sign.
But I love it, and I love the planting in it. That feels so like mall escalator. In fact, we should probably throw this in to our parking structure.
Yes.
We'll probably go ahead and throw that in there.
Yeah, it should be at normal step size, I would imagine.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is our first one to look at. And let's take a look at the buses. I mean, can you believe that these are not actually just a bus in the game? These are all pieces. Each bus is almost $1,000. It's a lot of pieces.
You don't use a lot. You just need to tell a little bit of the story. But that's what's frustrating.
Mouse. I think my mouse is broken.
It might be. Well, there's another really cool set. There's the HVAC set.
Oh, yeah, that's Mr. Domez's HVAC set back there. But back to the buses.
It's like, how did this not be how was this not an item in Planet Zoo, just in the base game? This is such an important thing about zoos, is lowering your carbon footprint, and so of course public transport should be a thing that they want to show off.
Yeah, I'm just so good. And on Bro Nation, this member is Hot Dog, but here on the Steam Workshop, he or she known as Barkbox. So
you misspelled buses again somehow.
Oh, boozes. Over here, I spelled it right though.
That's right.
Nope, it's just graffiti bus. So Mr. Domez, I think, took the bus and then graffitied it.
It's just so awesome.
Yeah, he's made the HVAC set that's over there as well, that I've shown off before in some of the other videos. But he just art-shaped wizard. Just insane.
Really incredible. Yeah, he's building some really beautiful, almost realistic American city.
Yeah.
Buildings
like
that
dust,
are just
like middle
really
of
cool.
nowhere, Route 66 city. But it is incredible where it's
Route 66.
What?
I know that's a way that you can say it. I've just never heard anybody say Route 66.
Route 66?
It's Route 66.
Sorry.
Get your
ROOT.
kicks on Route.
Route. All right, it's Route. Shut up.
God.
Suicide Up was a member of Bro Nation that we hope comes back.
Still is a member of Bro
Still
Nation.
is a member, just not as active.
Not as active.
Kind of got the burnout on the zoo, I think.
I think everybody just kind of like it's gone. Like the shimmer is gone. The glimmer is gone.
Yeah. So she took all the billboards. How did she do this without them being in the game? Like, don't you have to have the animal in the game for that to work?
That's a good question.
I don't know how she did
mess
this.
with it, because it will probably not let you go back.
I'm not going to touch it. Either that or because they don't have billboards either, so she didn't take a picture.
That's really cool.
But anyway, she has actual information on them. Like, go figure.
So, yeah, it's like actually informative billboards, I think is what the set is called.
Yeah, and she has them. It's a collection, and she has them alphabetically. She also included the DLC animals and the Arctic animals. So if you want a little bit more realistic information board, there you go. And they're all pretty neutral colored like this. I don't know if they'd be... You can recolor them with probably a little bit of effort, but totally worth it. I think they're awesome.
Yeah, they're less slick, less modern. They just kind of look like an old style zoo sort of display. And
then we have some backstage details here by Carlos G, and we just made him yesterday. I just made him an art shape sensei on. Oh yeah, he's deserving. I mean, look at this. This was just shown off in Ruble Trillion's most recent Tivoli Zoo episode. All this backstage clutter. I love the cages. Like that's really awesome. Cool. Just all
cages are awesome. I really like the resource blocks and the fact that they're just kind of sitting out there.
Yeah, it's just piles and piles. Because backstage is usually really ugly, whether it be theme park or zoo. It's clutter and it's messy, and it's nice to see that.
It's also tedious for a builder or a designer to come in and to try and get that realistic look. It's a lot of work to do all these little things, and so it's nice to have them ready to go. Yep,
I agree. Like we were just talking about how we're not the type of people to make things specifically for the workshop. But it's nice that other people do, because then we can, because we can use them. Like, this is exactly what we're talking about. We'd love to have this stuff, but we don't want to make it. So, big shout out to Carlos for actually making it. So let's go around this way to Pond Shrimp. Pond Shrimp made some info boards. I love these. These are in their little Eden project, and put them on the workshop for all of us to use. And I like that they are specific, but could also be kind of generic enough to use in other applications. Like you don't have to have a mushroom exhibit, or something where you're talking about mushrooms or whatever's going on here with the boulders down the hill.
Gravity, I think.
I think we know.
Explaining gravity.
Deep, man, deep. But yeah, those are super cool. Just little touches to really increase the realism in your zoos. And we've got utility vehicles by Hot Dog, or Barkbox again. And I love the ones with the little flowers in them. With the
another
sacks.
super useful thing that you kind of think, why was this not considered? Because they included now staff paths, and they've included this idea that guests don't want to see the backstage, but then completely neutered everything about the.
I can't stop.
Smashing. Oh, it's hilarious.
I think it's my keyboard.
Could be one of two things: your mouse or your keyboard.
Or it could be like my hard drive or something weird.
Hopefully it's not that. But yeah, it's just these little things that you think, oh, that would have been really cool if they had added it. So we have to do it with art shapes and.
Yeah, I mean, it still looks great though. Like my heart shaped stuff, it looks like arse, but this is good.
Yeah, this is really
and
well done.
We'll get to those in just a second back there. But first,
Bony boys.
bony boys. What?
They're bony boys.
You're weird. Signs and Details, North American version, again by Moblung. And these, I can't believe the details on these. It's insane. Like, there's no font here. This is all pieces.
Wait, the smoking sign too?
Pretty sure.
Didn't have a smoke. Oh my god.
No, we did not. What is? I don't even want to know what that is he's using.
Just pixel art. There's just little diamonds.
That's nuts. That is just insane. And we've got the
really
hazmat stuff. Wings and Strings knows.
Yeah,
what
we
those
learned
numbers
about that, didn't we?
I don't remember, but we learned about it.
Good.
But I mean, this is going to be, the Purell is going to be super useful in any. If we were to ever get something like a petting zoo, which we probably won't, but if we were to ever get that, that'd be perfect. Or anytime you would have anywhere like
a
a trainer,
walkthrough.
or a keeper talk, you'd probably be set up with some Purell near you. So super cool, super cool. And then last, kind of the big, this just came out a couple days ago. And I know he's also making some not extinct animals, but this is the Extinct Animal Museum set by Carlos G.
That's so cool.
Like, he's got this is like, come on.
Apparently he's studying paleo science or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why he's really good at this.
Oh, look at this though. Like,
what is that dinosaur?
Spinosaurus? This
No,
guy?
the one with the
That's the man. Isn't it like a tiger? It's like a saber tooth, isn't it?
I don't know.
But it doesn't have teeth. It's the
with the claws and everything. Like, I want to hug you.
I need love. It's like Reptar.
He's too happy.
That's so good. I don't know what the pieces are, but they're so good. I don't want to break the illusion by looking at the pieces.
Good. And then the one next to it is
Good.
good.
I just got to give sound effects to all of them now. That's just a small sampling of some of the amazing detail-oriented things you can find on the workshop. So,
You gotta leave this in.
time to get a new keyboard. I'm going to order myself a new keyboard as soon as we're done with this. So,
Go with your scotch.
hey, maybe it'll be a 12-year aged keyboard.
12-year keyboard. That's a super clacker.
Yeah. So anyway, we will zoom back out here, and while you can sort of see what's being cooked up for the next episode. When is that next episode? I don't know. Whenever. I wish I could give you a more concrete time or date, but I don't know. I'm gonna do some. I know I'm not playing a game tonight. I'm gonna be doing some other things tonight, and so maybe I'll get to it tomorrow or the next day. I don't know. And that's kind of where we're at in the game. I'm sure another point will hit where we're both like, yeah, and we just can't stop playing. But that's not right now.
Guest time is probably gonna do that.
I think we should get Ruble. He's really good.
He's really good. Yeah, he's a little busy though right now. I'll be honest.
What's more important?
What's more important, starting your
Tiny
family
humans or a game about pixel animals? I vote the
That's
latter.
the thing, guys. Is that you might not like our schedule, but we're gonna be here for a while. We're not gonna just disappear off the face, and you'll never see us again.
I'll let you know if I disappear. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
All right, so this is a teaser for episode 5 of BroZoo. or season zoo or whatever the heck we're calling it. So this is where we're headed.
It's demonetized zoo.
Demonetized zoo. This is where we're headed on demonetized zoo. So you got to be patient while I finish it up because I've got a whole nother side of the building to do.
Yeah, talk about art shapes. Holy crap.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll chat about it. So,
Holy art shape.
yeah, are you ready to say goodbye?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Well, this has been Masked Bandit.
Yeah, this has been insane.
And it's been a BroSode. And we'll see you for the next one. Bye-bye, guys.
All right. Bye, guys.